Morning guys, it is Tuesday, lunchtime. I am grabbing some coffee and then I'm taking Jax to his grooming appointment because if you've seen homeboy, he looks a mess. He's acting crazy right now because I have the window down and he thinks that's an indication that he's gonna see somebody. No, sir. Can you not? Sit down. So today is pretty boring to be honest, but since it's the week of Christmas, I figured I would get on. Hold on. Good morning, welcome to Dunkin'. Hello. So funny story. I tried to use my free coupon at the other Dunkin' Donuts when I was with Drew, and the girl was like, "It's not showing a free Dunkin' coffee," and I'm like, "Yes, it does. I'm looking at it." And Drew's like, "Kelsey, just pay for it." I'm like, "No, it's the principle. The principle is you don't pay for things that are free, especially when you earned it." So I wouldn't stop talking about it until the lady just gave it to me for free. Come to find out, it was her problem, not mine, because it was clearly showing on my coupon. So now I get 2 free ones because the first time y'all messed up. Let me put him down. I don't know why he feels the need to like sit in my window. Uh-oh, choking, eating too fast. Where's his water? I got this water. Hi guys, so we're having Christmas early because Ava has to go into work on Thursday when we originally planned.
Because you just have to throw that in there.
Because she did. It was supposed to be Thursday night, but here we are on a Tuesday opening Christmas presents. Look at this. It's like the McAllister's Christmas in here. Andrew said y'all had better have music blasting in here for Christmas.
I haven't heard Christmas music all year.
Really? We play it every day.
We played it in your bathroom the other day, liar.
Okay, for 30 minutes.
It hasn't been feeling like Christmas this year, Drew.
It hasn't.
No, it ain't too Christmassy, that's for sure.
Chloe got a lot of balls right there.
She does. Jack is looking fresh from the groomers.
Oh my God.
I gotta put your pajamas on, bubby. You gotta put your pajamas on. Even Jax has his own pile of presents. His house is a present too. I just gave it to him early.
Yeah, I got one of Walmart too.
That's a present
That's
too.
so nice of me. Well, thank you.
Oh, that's a present. Good boy.
Thank you, baby.
Hi, baby. So this is my pajama set for Christmas. I haven't even brushed my hair, y'all. This is just the natural way that it fell when I unwrapped it. But this pajama set is from Target. It's a like sweatshirt top and the shorts. And I have a matching set for Jax once I can get him. He's like running around in the living room. Maybe he'll come in here. If not, I'll show you guys his pajama set too.
You got his Christmas pajamas on. Playing.
Megan good at her husband married for 9 years when we getting divorced. I saw that.
Excited!
You excited, Olivia?
Right, you heard her. I'm so excited. Yeah, so I'm
Olivia, huh? You got,
Look at her face.
Olivia, you better be. You got a Mercedes Benz.
That's Kaden's. It's not Libby's.
Okay,
Okay, y'all ready? One at a time. So,
Okay, so
I'm going
who's-
to pass it to you.
Okay.
Okay, Libby, you open that one first. And then you go after her. Okay, y'all take turns.
I'm gonna open that one.
Okay, open that one first.
Trying
It
anyway.
don't got no name on it.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Mixing and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stocking and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that's filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle, jangle, what a beautiful sight. So jump in there and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up through sugar fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell time, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. Jingle bell bells, jingle bell, 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 in the one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up the beat. Jingle up around the clock. Mix and mingle in the jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock.
Another sorority talk to answer the question of, which I wrote it down because it was an interesting one. How do you prepare to join an organization that's on probation? Mainly an organization that is being, or a chapter that's being brought in through a graduate chapter. So you're interested in a college, the organization that you're interested in joining doesn't have undergraduates on the yard, and the graduate chapter, the advising chapter, is the chapter responsible for bringing in new recruits or bringing in new interests. What are you doing? Are you going to sit and be pleasant, or are you going to get down? I'm trying to work here. Okay. Anyhow, so let's tackle this topic. I'm going to do my best to tackle it before my family gets up, because we are home for the holidays, and I have a 3-year-old who runs around every morning looking for me. So we're going to try to get through this rather quickly. So as far as the process with joining an undergraduate chapter that's being led by graduate chapter, the process isn't any different from what you would do if you were an undergrad being brought in by other undergraduates. The intake process does not change. You're still going to go through whatever process they have, be it torch, MIP, intake, whatever. It doesn't change. It's going to be the same process. what you learn from it is going to be different. I will say that being brought in by graduate members is different from being brought in by undergrad, in a sense where you are dealing with people who are older, in a sense where they may have a little more knowledge or they may have a little more information related to the history of your organization that you do not receive oftentimes if you're brought in by undergraduate members. So there is a positive side to that. Sorry, there's something in my eye. There is a positive side to that as far as the pros and cons of it. If I were to think of cons related to the topic, you're looking at generational differences. With undergrads, I often say, if you haven't seen my video about things to think about before you become a undergraduate advisor, is you're dealing with a different generation and you're also dealing with a different age group. We as women who are older, I say that loosely because I'm not that old, but not being in my teens anymore or being in my early 20s anymore, you tend to have a different perspective than the people who are younger than you. So you just have to remember that you're dealing with an older group of people who may not be as patient or who may not be as lenient as you may get in undergrad working with your peers. So that's, as far as I can think of, is the only con. Mostly I can think of pros. Like I said, you're getting information from a different generation, so someone who may know more things, someone who can actually teach you things that would be helpful for you as far as becoming a member, history, secrets, traditions, rituals, things like that. Rituals, I say in the sense of organizational induction rituals, things like that. Nothing crazy. We're not even going to talk about rituals in depth, but things like that. You'll get that in-depth knowledge from people who have been in the organization for a long time. Usually the older the member, the better. And by older, I mean the longer that person has been in the organization or the longer that person has been in the chapter. It's extremely helpful if you're being brought in by someone who was an alumni of that chapter, because not only do they have the history of the organization that you would like, but you would have the history of the actual chapter that you're joining from someone who'd been in the organization and been in the chapter before. I think that that's really helpful, and I think that's a really positive thing. As far as how to prepare, you would prepare as you would for if you were working with your peers. You should know the history, you should know your information, you should know things about the chapter as well as the organization. If you don't know how to prepare for intake, check out my playlist. I have several videos related to preparing for intake, but those would be the main things that I recommend doing. Just treat it as you would if you're working with your peers. There's very little difference between the two. Like I said, the process does not change. Graduate leadership can be stricter on undergraduates, which is not necessarily a bad thing because they're teaching you the correct way to do things. You're being taught Robert's Rules of Order. You're being taught how to run a meeting properly. All those things are important, and all those things are great to learn from people who are seasoned sorors or sorors who've been in the organization for a long time, because you're learning the correct way to do things. Yes, you may be missing some components as far as like hanging out with your peers or hanging out with people your age after you have your meetings for Torch or whatever they have you do. But at the same time, you're still getting that knowledge, which is what you truly need, that will help your chapter thrive once your advisors basically let you loose and allow you to do things as an undergraduate chapter. It is a different experience. Like I said, you're not working with people of your age, but you will have the maturity required in order to run your chapter properly so that you guys aren't placed on probation again in the future. So I think that these are all great things. And for anyone who may have questions related to probation or questions related to a chapter that's been suspended, it's the same thing. If a chapter has been suspended, you're going to go through the same process. It's going to be done through the graduate advisor or advisors, and it's very little difference between the two. But for those of you who may have questions related to that process or questions related to probation in general, let me know. We're going to go back to my blog, but I hope that you guys found this sorority talk very, very helpful. Give me a thumbs up and continue watching. I'm going to start posting videos on Instagram as well. Bear with me. This is a new series. I'm trying to still work out the kinks of it. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and we will go into the vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching today's segment.